Hey class, and happy Monday. Okay, so let's get right to it. For this morning meeting or for the beginning of your day, go ahead and we're going to do the vocational question. And then we're just going to chat real quick about our step that's coming up that we're going to complete for our transition passport. We've been talking about it, but we've got one little extra thing that we need to do. Also, real quick, I want you to pay attention to this reminder right here. So tomorrow, we're only going to have one class, and that's our 8 o'clock class, and we're going to just try and elongate it. We're just going to try and make it longer than usual. So usually we're done from 8 to 8:30. Let's see if we can stay in there till 9 o'clock and get some things done, because it will be our only class for the day, along with your PE. Okay, and then make sure that you watch CNN 10. So let's look at the vocational question of the day. I have to change something because your classmates shared with me that we already done this question. We did it last week. I keep jumping around, so I'm not really, I forget which ones we've done. So we're going to cross out reading, cross out writing, and instead I'm going to ask you, would you rather have a job that requires more math, science? Make this a different color because it's kind of hard to read. Would you rather math or science? So here's your example. I would rather have a job that requires more, and then tell me why, okay? So make sure that you write this down, you let me know why, and you share it with me, and pause this so you can finish your vocational question of the day, okay? All right, so hopefully you got that done and you paused and you finished your writing. So I'm going to clear this and go to our next piece, which is this transition passport. So let's chat real quick, and we can do some role playing, or I'm going to have this screen up and you can pause it so you can do a little role playing at home. So we've been talking about resumes. Well, let's look real quick. What is a resume? We've been talking about all the information that goes in a resume, but what does it really look like? So here's an example of what a resume is going to look, what your resume is going to look like for the most part when we're done and once we start typing it up. So you know that you have your personal information, where you went to high school. Remember, we talked about different volunteer jobs that you have at school. We still have some other things to fill in, like your skills and achievements. But our next piece that we started talking about last week were references. Remember, a reference is somebody who's A, seen you work, and B, has great things to say about you. So when we decide on our references, we're going to think of 2. So you need to be brainstorming 2 people in your life, not family, that you can list as a reference. But here's the kicker. When you want to list someone as a reference, you can't just write them down. You have to ask first. You have to ask and make sure that it's okay that you use them as a reference. So we're going to practice asking some people. Because we're virtual, if you decide to go with someone that's on campus, we will find creative ways for you to ask. So then you can list them when we start typing your resume this week. So here's a little example. You could say, hey, Mr. D'Angelo, making my resume, would it be okay for me to list you as a reference? And hopefully Mr. D'Angelo will say, absolutely. And you're going to make sure to say thank you, but then you also need to get some information. You need to know exactly how to spell your person's name. And then, can I get your phone number, email address, and title at work? Because it's going to be really important that you have that contact information. So if you ask Mr. D'Angelo, you're making sure you know how to spell his first and last name, if he'd rather a phone number or email, and then you have to write that down. And then what's his title at work? Who is he, and why is he important for someone to call? If you're trying to get a job at Pizza Hut, why should they call D'Angelo? Well, because he was your supervisor as a custodian at New Bern High School, right? So pause this and practice right now with someone next to you how you're going to ask if you can use someone as a reference. All right, so hopefully you had time to practice this, and you can always pause, rewind, and go back so you check it out again, okay? All right, next up. Whoops, I'm going the wrong way. I'm going the wrong way. Here we are. All right, reading. Okay, so today for reading, we voted, and guess what? We decided that we're gonna skip chapter 4 for now. We kind of feel great about rules and laws, and we want to get into our new novel. So we are officially starting the one and only Ivan. Look at your chapter 3 comprehension questions and make sure that you have completed them and that you have sent me pictures. And if you have not sent me pictures, either send those to me or make sure that you share with me real quick tomorrow morning that you finished them, okay? All right, so I'm going to put in the link this gorilla video, and because it's kind of hard to brainstorm stuff through this YouTube video. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a link for this video, and what I want you to do is watch this video on gorillas, because Ivan, our main character, he's a gorilla. And before we start reading the book, I want to know everything we already know about gorillas. So you're going to click on the little link and watch this video about gorillas. And then on a separate piece of paper, I want you to write down anything you know about gorillas. Maybe you know what color they are, or where they live, or what they eat. So write down everything that you know about gorillas. And if you don't know anything about gorillas, then watch the video and then share with me what you learned. Okay, let's get a little background information on Ivan before we start reading tomorrow. Okay, does that make sense? All right, so watch the video, tell me what you know about gorillas, and then you can get on Epic and read a book of your choosing. A few of your classmates have already found quite a few books on gorillas on Epic. So if you wanted to, you could search for books there as well. Okay, but be prepared to start the one and only Ivan tomorrow, so have that out and ready when we come to class at 8 o'clock. All right, our last thing that we are going to do for the day is we're going to look at the bar graph in our math, and I'm going to have that as a separate video just because I want to make sure these videos aren't super long. So you will look for the separate math video that says bar graph, and we'll complete that together, okay? All right, so get your vocational question done. Be thinking about references and practice, and then watch that gorilla video and write down everything that you know about gorillas or anything that you've learned. And then when this video is done and you're finished with that work, then let's get to the bar graph and we'll work on that together in our separate bar graph video. All right, a lot of cool stuff going on this Monday, so work hard and I will see y'all tomorrow. Bye.